candy. So, Contagion by Robin Cook is about a medical examiner in New York City named Jack Stapleton. He was an eye doctor before, but when Americare took over his practice, he didn't want to work for them. When Jack examines those who died from very infectious diseases that usually don't occur, he becomes suspicious. The diseases include plague, tularemia, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and influenza, strain from 1918 that caused many to die.
When people are dying from the diseases at the same hospital which is controlled by Americare, Jack becomes even more suspicious. He believes someone is causing this disaster on purpose. When he gets a threat from a gang, who tells him to stop looking for the evidence, he knows his suspicions are right and he vows to keep searching for the truth even if that means his life is in danger.
Overall, this novel is very dramatic, but it's not feasible. It's very unlikely for 4 very infectious diseases to occur at around the same time in New York City.
It's also very unlikely that someone would try to make people sick on purpose. Even though the novel isn't feasible, it was still very exciting and it was hard to put down.
It was a great read.
You can go whenever.
It's come to our attention that factors causing the plague, tularemia, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and a rare strand of influenza are known.
The emergence of these diseases were very scary and devastating, as we see over here, scattering the city. People are falling left and right. A woman and a man named Richard and Teresa Hagen are held accountable for killing so many innocent lives. Richard was a microbiologist at General Hospital, and Teresa worked at a company that advertised medical commercials. Richard and Teresa worked together to cause these diseases by putting microbes in humidifiers at General Hospital. Teresa wanted people to get sick so she would have more ideas for her next advertisement and therefore would have a better chance of becoming vice president in the company. How sick. Just like this poor young soul. So sick. It has also come to our attention that a man by the name of Jack Stapleton found out about this ordeal. If it wasn't for Jack, many people would have been dying from these awful diseases. He's actually on air right now, but before we speak with him, we would like to recognize those who have lost their lives.
Now for the weather forecast of the week. Despite everyone dying, it's gonna be kind of warm, really warm, less warm, kind of more warm, and then it's gonna get cold. Fahrenheit? It's Fahrenheit, guys. Everything I just said is correct. Okay, back to you.
Good morning, Dr. Stapleton. We are very thankful to have you on the air.
Thank you for having me.
You're a medical examiner here in the city who was able to examine many of those who died from these awful diseases. Can you describe what that was like?
Yes. The first deceased who came in had swollen lymph nodes, gangrene on his fingertips, and disseminated intravascular coagulation. As a joke, I said he probably has the plague. However, when the results came out positive for that, I was astounded. Plague doesn't occur in New York City. Then these 2 had tularemia came in. This is another disease that usually doesn't occur here. Before I knew it, more people had contracted tularemia who had died. In addition, people were dying from Rocky Mountain spotted fever and strand of influenza that caused a pandemic in 1918. The whole thing was very odd.
Huh. Can you explain what each disease is caused by and what the symptoms are?
Of course. plague is caused by bacteria called Yersinia pestis, which is found in rats and fleas. Humans contract the bacteria from those two types of species. The rats were tested to see if this bacteria was present, but it was negative. The symptoms included swollen lymph nodes, fever, chills, fatigue, and muscle aches. Tularemia occurs when humans come into contact with animals such as rabbits and squirrels that are infected with Francisella tularensis. Humans can also get tularemia from tick or mosquito bites. The symptoms include skin ulcers, swollen lymph glands, fever, chills, headache, and exhaustion. Rocky Mountain spotted fever is caused by a bite, which is infected with R. rickettsii. The symptoms are fever, muscle aches, and rashes. The influenza is spread through coughing and sneezing. The symptoms are fever, chills, muscle aches, cough, and runny nose. However, this strand of influenza is very hard to control.
So, Jack, when you see all these diseases killing people, you were suspicious, weren't you?
Yes, very. These diseases usually don't occur in New York City in March. Another odd thing is that these diseases occurred one after the other. I knew someone weird was going on. I decided to investigate at General Hospital, and many people were angry that I was there. I was getting a bad vibe. I even had a gang threaten me to stop investigating.
Many people didn't believe your suspicion. Many people didn't believe your suspicions, correct?
Many people thought I just wanted to get the hospital in trouble, which was controlled by AmeriCare. Many knew that I had a bad past with AmeriCare, but I knew something illegal was going on.
That's very interesting. We are going to take a short break now, so don't move. We'll be right back. Baseball. Not important. We're back. Right now, I'm talking to Jack Stapleton, who found out the truth about the emergence of these infectious diseases that caused many to die in New York City. So, Jack, even though you were being threatened, you still decided to investigate?
Yes. I called the company to see whether someone was ordering bacteria that caused these certain diseases. They said yes, and that it was being shipped to Fraser Labs. I decided to go there, and with a little more investigation, I realized a man by the name of Richard, who I knew was ordering the bacteria. However, when I followed him to his apartment, I wasn't careful enough and was held hostage. Then I realized another friend of mine named Therese was involved as well.
What happened next?
They gave me ketamine, which made me pass out. After I woke up, I realized we were driving to the Catskills, where Richard's house was. I learned that Richard and Therese were working together this whole time. It wasn't their intention to kill people exactly, they just wanted to get people sick so Therese could have a really creative medical advertisement. They were also planning to kill me. When we got to the Catskills, they handcuffed me to the pipe. They tried to shoot me, but they didn't have the guts to. Instead, they contacted a gang to come and kill me instead. The gang was planning to come the next day. However, I noticed that Therese and Richard were getting the really bad flu-like symptoms. I wasn't feeling too well either. Throughout the night, their breathing became labored and I knew they weren't going to make it. Early in the morning, they stopped breathing. But then I heard a car coming up the road and I knew it was the gang. I broke the pipe and was able to run away. I decided to hide in the barn. However, it wasn't the gang who showed up. It was actually my really good friend Warren, who I knew was in danger. I'm very thankful to be alive because I was so close to being dead.
What a crazy story. We're glad you're alive too. Because of you, New York City and the rest of America can calm down. Thank you for sharing that with us.
it was negative.
President. Great job, Jack.
The President of the United States.
Oh my God. Keep going.